This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So, yeah, let's get it started. So, once again, welcome to the very first session of this particular DevOps training. So, myself is Raghu. So, most of the people are aware of about me because we had been on the demo, right? So, if you are not aware, so once again, myself is Raghu. I'm the trainer for this particular for this particular course. Okay, so to start with, okay, so where we want to start with is we want to understand, so our roadmap, how we want to start and how we want to proceed. That is the first thing. Okay, so as given in the course curriculum, we already going to talk about DevOps. So that is anyhow, that is pretty clear. But on Amazon Web Services, okay, because why Amazon Web Services? I have already shown in the demo that AWS is the one of the cloud provider, so which is leading in the market, and you have so many customers for that. So ultimately, learning the a famous one, which always gives you more opportunities. Okay, that is the only reason. So yeah, on that particular perspective, we're going to start with Amazon Web Services. But if you go for Amazon Web Services, you have different services out there, and we're going to consume services, and we're going to pay as much as we consume. But Amazon Web Services is going to provide some few resources which are free. We can use that particular free resources and we can avoid the cost a little bit. But anyhow, as I mentioned already, we're going to get some amount as a bill per month. Probably for these 2 months, you might get between $5 to $10 on the whole. Okay, so not more than that. If you just really follow the process, whatever I suggest during the sessions. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, we'll go for Amazon. That's fine. But once after going there, our course is designed for delivering DevOps. So how to deliver? How are we going to practice these things? Anyhow, on the cloud. But on the cloud, you can go ahead and create some servers and you can use them. That is fine. Yeah. But which server? Okay. So which operating system? Which server is fine? We can go ahead and create the server of the capacity which we want. But which operating system? Okay. What is the operating system we want to use? So definitely not Windows. Why? Because Windows is very less in the market in the server world. So or not, Windows want to ship everything on Linux. Okay. So just last week, Windows has announced that Windows 10 operating system they wanted to port on complete Linux. They're already using Linux from past 3 to 4 years in their operating system, but they want to port complete Linux into complete run Windows 10 operating system, 10 OS on top of Linux kernel. Okay, so I can show you that particular one. So Windows 10 on kernel on Google. So we'll just get that block. So Microsoft will ship full, Linux kernel in Windows 10. Windows has surprised. Okay, so that Linux developer community in recent few years because they were rivals. Okay, nature they started as rivals, and Microsoft now wanted their operating system to be porting on you know um, Linux kernel. Okay, so that is what the beautiful things of Linux basically, and Linux operating system. Linux is different. Linux operating system is different. Okay, you need to understand that particular. You need to understand that particular clarity little bit. Okay, so OS is different, and Linux is different. Linux is not an operating system, by the way. Okay, so if Linux is the operating system, how Windows can use it? No, they cannot use it, right? So that gives you easier clarity. Okay, so what is Unix? Okay, first of all, you need to understand what is Unix. Okay, Unix is an operating system. Yeah, so Unix is a type of operating system which will be running only on its native hardware. Okay, so it runs on Unix will be shipped as, so software plus hardware. So Unix will be shipped as, software plus hardware. So currently I'm using my Mac operating system. So here in my Mac, so this this Unix and this Unix it's a Unix operating system because it shipped with Mac operating system, my MacBook. So, but I cannot go ahead and install Windows on top of this, or I cannot take this Mac OS and I cannot install on my Dell hardware. So that's not possible. So because this is a Unix operating system, so these two together will be coming up. And that was the problem which was faced by the industry in 1990s or 1980s. And Linus Torvalds want to break this particular whole setup. Okay, why software is always depending on hardware. So then what he has done is he has introduced a layer in between, and he break the software and hardware dependencies. Okay, so now this is going to be your hardware, and this is going to be your software. And so he has broken it, and he has written a custom layer in between. So now we are calling it as Linux. So Linux is not an operating system, by the way. Linux is a code which sits in between software and hardware, so which drives software and hardware. Okay, so that is what the Linux just broken that particular layer, and these together we can call it as operating system. These together we are calling it as Linux OS. Okay, now Windows want to do is, so Linux, they want to use the same kernel. They want to port their own OS here, their own software here. So that is what their idea is. So now Linux operating systems are much widely used in enterprise market. It's not only me. So even Wikipedia says that. Okay, so you can go ahead and so usage of Windows, operating systems in the market. You type in Google and you'll get it. So I have the direct link. So usage of operating systems, the Wikipedia is going to tell you different things. So in device operating systems, no doubt Android is more, of course. Okay, so and after that, if you come to the desktop operating system, no doubt 87% is so Windows, I don't argue on that. So Windows is more. And the same thing, you just come to the servers. If you see the server world, okay, so you will see, especially big computers, that's okay. But you can see this was being more occupied by Unix operating system till 2004, 2003, 2004. But in 2004, a big change in Linux operating system, because there's a successful product in Linux operating system. Linux was stable that time. So till 1991 to 2004, Linux was not stable. So, but after that, Linux became stable, and everyone started adopting it. So Linux is major, not your Unix. Sorry, yeah, not your Windows. Okay, Unix was earlier, and Windows was also there. We are not saying Windows is not there. It's there. It's very minimal. Okay, so Windows itself want to come to Linux. Okay, so that is how it is all going on. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Linux is the operating system we want to go for, because we want to close our we want to close match our course as much as possible to real time. Okay, so that's where okay, we'll try to use the same way how companies uses as well. We don't want to use our local desktops during the lab and go to the company, and don't want you to make I don't want you to get any surprises. Okay, so let's get this, most of the surprises here itself, and you'll get used to that. And so that, so whenever you see the outside world, it doesn't look like an alien to you. Okay, so yeah. Now we want to go for the Linux operating system. So, but which Linux operating system? Again, okay. So there are different vendors who take the Linux kernel or Linux and ship their operating system by adding some software, and out of them, so you have you have three people in major who does that particular part. So here one is Red Hat as an organization does that, and Debian as an organization it does that, and SUSE as an organization they does that. Okay, so three operating systems were there in enterprise world, which is playing a key role. Okay, so out of these, okay, so which one again is widely used is, if you go and look for the statistics, we don't have any proper statistics. Some people will say Debian, some people will say Red Hat, and things like that. But generally, okay, so generally most of the people will suggest you, okay, so here is the Red Hat is the widely used one. Okay, so Red Hat is the one which is widely used. So we will use a Red Hat based operating system in our classes. Okay, now but not Red Hat directly again. Okay, so Red Hat is not a free software to use. Okay, you need to understand that. So Red Hat is not a free software to use, but in cloud it's okay. Okay, so they'll not charge you anything. So they have some contract with Amazon, so there won't be any issues if you use Red Hat in Amazon. So not an issue. But 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 Red Hat is not free. Red Hat is not free. Okay, so that's where so Red Hat, in order to use Red Hat, there are some people who want to use this Red Hat and build their own operating systems. Okay, so why they can build their operating systems? Because Red Hat is not free, because Red Hat is a partner of open source. So these are all simple basics I want to put it in your mind so that there won't be any confusions. Red Hat is a part of open source. So the open source says a clause saying, open source license says a clause saying, if you are modifying the code and then you can distribute it for free, or you can use it for free. You cannot directly use my product, but take my product, and if you customize it as per the standards, and if you can distribute it for free, or you can use it for free. So that is what a clause in open source is being telling. So people okay, so uses that particular clause, and there are companies and who pulls the Red Hat source code, and they make their own operating systems. So out of that, so who are is you have CentOS as an organization, they does that, and Oracle as an organization, they does that. Amazon as a cloud vendor, they does that, and even you know, scientific Linux. And also there are different vendors who took this particular Red Hat code and released this particular Red Hat OS as a copy of Red Hat OS in the same name. Okay, so people does this. Okay, and out of these four, so I don't want to use these three. I want to go for this one because this is free of cost. And again, if you are using Amazon, you have Amazon Linux available. You can use this as well, no issues. But that's okay. But so let's choose the standard operating system, which is CentOS, and which is mostly widely used in the enterprise world as well. Okay, so CentOS is the one which is preferred for our sessions. But don't worry, if you are learning any of these operating system, you are learning the same thing. Only logo changes. That's all. The core remains same. You learn Red Hat, you're learning other four. You learn CentOS, you're learning other four. So there is nothing difference. Okay, so no difference at all. 100%. It's a copy of Red Hat. Okay, so we want to use a CentOS operating system. All right, so that's how we want to proceed in our sessions. Okay, and the next thing, so CentOS has different versions of operating system. So here if we go for mm, CentOS versions, something like that. Yeah, this one. So just want to show you that. So CentOS is currently offering two versions of operating system because Red Hat is, it's parallel to Red Hat. Because Red Hat is offering two versions, CentOS is offering two. Red Hat stops some version, CentOS has to stop that. Okay, so that one. So here there are two versions, basically 7 and 6 are the major versions which you have. Okay, but which one to choose? All right, so which one to choose will be decided by the end of the life. So in the next year, by 2020, so CentOS 6 is no more going to be on the market. Okay, so that means you'll not get any updates or any support anywhere from the community. Okay, so this is what. But the only version which is available for you now is CentOS 7. So we want to use the CentOS 7 version for our sessions. Okay, so that is how we want to proceed. Okay, so make sense? Any questions on this so far from anyone? Okay, sounds great. And yeah, someone.
So, do you want us to start downloading that at the same time, or we can do
No,
that at a later time?
no, we don't need to download anything. So we are going to just use the service in the cloud. So we'll just go ahead and use CentOS 7 and we'll get it. We don't need to download anything at all.
Okay. Well, what I'm trying to say is, can we the same way you're trying to open it in your web page? Can we do that on our own side too? Or it's better we wait and do it at a later time?
Yeah, that's a good question. Anyhow, I usually tell at the ending of a session, but anyhow, as you asked, so don't practice during the session. So it will deviate your concentration and you'll miss the
Okay.
details. You always be in a question mark, what is happening. So be concentratedly listening to the session. If you have any queries, you can always ask. But the practice part after the session will provide you the video mostly in 30 to 60 minutes after the session.
Okay. Okay.
So
Thank you.
you can use that and practice. Okay.
Okay.
So any other questions? Okay, all right. So no, now we know which operating system we want to use our complete sessions, and as well as not only the sessions. In most of the companies, you'll see Red Hat, so CentOS or Red Hat is what you'll be using. And the next thing is, so I want to start using the CentOS operating system. So how can I do that? So I want to use my Linux. Sorry, I want to use my. I can use my. Not I want to. I can use my desktop and I can install some virtual machines and I can set up the things. I can proceed. But that's not how we do it in the companies, right? So we don't do desktop on the desktop. So we do use class servers, but we don't have any data center with us like a company to go ahead and create a server and use it. So that's where we are relying on the cloud part. Okay, and companies even are relying on cloud now. So we can go for the cloud and we can okay um, take servers, and there are certain servers for free. We can use them, and we can use them, and we can start doing the practice. All right, so let's get it started. So first thing, every one of you has to sign up for Amazon Cloud. Every one of you has to go to Amazon website and you need to sign up for Amazon Cloud. And the process actually has been um, given over here. So which is I'll give you the link. So I'm putting in the chat so that every one of you can see, use it. All right. So you can please bookmark that particular URL because for 1 week almost we'll be sticking around that particular URL only. So whatever we need for the first 1 week sessions is completely available there. Okay. So here, if you just come down, so you have a process of you have a process of explaining how to create your Amazon account. It's a simple sign up form. You don't need to worry about much of the things. The only thing you require to create an account is you need to create an account with the help of some credit card or debit card. Okay, so you need to provide that particular information, but don't worry. So they're not going to debit anything other than the validation amount. So just say in India it is just ₹1, in US it is $1, but it is going to be reverting back to. It is going to it is going to revert it back to your account again. Okay, so don't worry much on that particular part. So all you need to do is just go ahead and sign up for a free account. And how to do that? So there is a URL already given, so aws.amazon.com. You can just go there and you can go for sign up for free, create an account. But I'm not going to create an account because I already have an account. So there is okay, so there is nothing much I can do at this point of time right now. So you can just follow the screenshot. So click on create a free account, and after that they'll ask you the details. So they'll ask you whether your account is professional or personal. So choose personal, and they'll ask your address and mobile number. So just provide proper details. So don't put some dummy details, so that your accounts will get not activated if they found out your accounts are not valid details. And as well as they'll ask you for the credit card and PAN card number. So just click on so just give the credit card details, but PAN card you can select no. Okay, so you just say that you don't have any PAN card if you are in India. So if they identify your location is in India, they'll ask for PAN, otherwise they will not. And then you'll be redirected to your bank payment portal to give some OTP, and authorize that particular payment. And after that, it is going to ask you select a support plan. So there will be a basic option. This is important. Choose basic. Okay, so if you choose a standard one, you will be getting a bill in your account. Okay, so choose basic. So be cautious on this particular part. And once your account is creation is done, and you can start opening your account. And the website is console.aws.amazon.com. console.aws.amazon.com. And the URL is already given there, so you can just give there. It just asks you the details. Yeah, so here is how your account will be. And from here for the initial days we'll be using servers, and then we'll be going, and server is also a service, and then we'll use some other services as well. Okay, to start with, we're going to use a server as a service, and we will start practicing on the server, so everything, and then we start using different services which are available out there. Okay, so let's go and start doing that. So for this I have certain process as well, and you need to create a server. In order to create a server, so just follow the process. I am just changing the process so that the documentation is not really completed. After the session, I'll put some more documentation, and you'll see the complete steps, which I'm going to do it right now, so for your reference. So you need to create a server in AWS. Okay, so here choose the server. Whenever you go into Amazon, you need to choose something called as a region. whenever you go for Amazon, you need to choose one of the region. So here you logged in. On the right side top, you have different regions. So where you want to have your servers. Let's say my business is in India, assume, okay. If I go ahead and take the servers on US, then obviously there is a network latency because my each and every transaction should cross through the wires. It has to reach the US geographical location and hit the data center, and it has to come back. So the time taken is always more and more, right? The network latency. That's where if I use somewhere near to me, so let's say I'm sitting in India, I can go for Mumbai or I can go for Singapore. So both are almost nearby. So I can choose any of the one. Then my network latency will be reduced. But as a free account, you cannot go ahead and use all the regions. So that's a problem. That's the problem. So as a free account, you don't have a free hand to choose all the regions. Okay, so you have only three regions, which as I already mentioned here. So you have either North Virginia, Ohio, or Oregon. So only three data centers are allowed for you: North Virginia, Ohio, and Oregon. So you can choose any one of these. Okay, so otherwise you have to raise a support case to Amazon and ask that, hey, please enable me for Mumbai region as well, and then they will enable you. But by default, yours is a free account, and you will be allowed only to these particular regions. And so this rule this policy just came back in 2017 sometime. Okay, prior to that, we used to get access to all the regions, but now they are very limited, and they just want to uh, use free servers from these particular regions only by default. Okay, so that is where okay, we have to choose one region. So for these sessions, I'll be sticking with North Virginia. So for not getting confused, you can also choose a North Virginia region. You can just follow me, or if you want, you can use another region. But later, we are going to use some configurations which are, which we are going to specify, um, which we are going to specify about region specific, so that no confusion will come. Okay, I use something, you use something, probably rather than getting some confusion, this is better. Okay, so yeah, that's how we are going to start with. So here we're going to use a North Virginia region. So choose one region. I'm choosing North Virginia. Okay, and so the next thing is you have to choose a service. So you have to choose a service, and the service which we are going to use for now is EC2. So you need to click on EC2. So here is a list of services which you have once after you log in, or else on the top you have AWS icon. Even if you click on that also, you'll get to the same page. You'll get to the same page. All right. So just click on EC2. Okay. So yeah, that's fine. Just click on EC2. So, and in your case, you'll be seeing everything as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So only you'll find out one security group. The rest of the things is 0, 0, 0. So mine is an account which is being used for some time. So I have some other things. That's okay, but I have 0 instances. So that's what you need to keep in mind. Okay, I don't have any servers here. I need to go ahead and create a server. So how I need to go ahead and create a server? So the next step is, so you have a launch instance, but we are going to follow a different process here. So what is the process we're going to use is, on the left side, you have something called as AMIs. So just click on AMIs. Okay. So in your case, you don't see anything like this. So you're seeing um, mine, but you don't see anything. That's okay. That's fine. So here you will be seeing owned by me, and let's go for public images. We want to use an image. See, in Amazon, there are some images already available, and we have to choose that particular image, and we can create a server. And which one we want to choose is CentOS one. Okay, so but we don't want to use the direct CentOS one. So if I want to go for the direct CentOS one, so then okay, so I can just go ahead and so something search for CentOS like this. You will get CentOS image, and you can use it. But this is also not CentOS by direct CentOS. direct CentOS, you'll find out, while launching the instance, if you go for a standard practice. If I just go to launch instances and launch instance, so here in the marketplace is you'll find out the products which are for which are being sold here. Okay, you will be seeing the products which are being selling by Amazon, selling with the help of Amazon by someone else. Okay, so these are the different operating systems you have, and you have CentOS 7 is also available here. You can choose this, but we don't want to go this way, so we want to go for another approach, because this is a bare operating system which we are going to have, and doesn't have a lot of the lot of the softwares which is needed. So this is a very bare one. So that's the reason I have used this image and customized it okay, and then I am just putting it out there as a public image, and you can use that, so that it saves your time. You can, instead of using this one and each and every instance, setting up all those packages, okay, and it just to avoid that particular time. So we're just going for using a public image, and so here on the left side, so you have EC2. Just click on EC2 on the AMIs. So go for the public images, and in the documentation here, I have kept a number owner. So you just need to copy this, or only the number is also fine. So just here type owner, and just give this one and enter. You will see an image coming up. So with this one, you try to make an image. See, because previously CentOS is a very famous one, they're giving in a standard format, but mine is a non-standard one. So I cannot put that in there. I can just use my own. Okay. So this is how I can launch. I can just go for launch. So just click on launch. Okay. And Amazon is not going to provide you completely for free. Okay. So let's see Amazon free limits. So Amazon free tier limits. Not this one. Amazon free tier. Yeah. So they give you most of the services for free, but there's always a limitations out there. Okay, what are the limitations? Now let's say if I want to take a server, so it is 12 months free, and you will get 750 hours per month. That is almost equivalent to 31 days. Okay, if you queue by 24 hours, 750 hours by 24 hours, you get around you get around 750. All right, so you will get any of the instance, any of the OS, but here there is something called as T2 micro instance only. We'll get only Linux T2 micro. That's all you are going to get. You'll not get. So let's say if I want, let's say 2 GB RAM or 4 GB RAM, that's not free. That's costly. That's chargeable. Okay, that's chargeable. Only you have these. Only these you have. So these type of instances, and out of the T2 micro is the only one which is free, and which comes up with 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM, the standard one. Okay, at this point of time, you better to use only this. Okay, only 1 GB of RAM and one CPU and 1 GB of RAM is enough. Okay, and again coming to the disk sizes. So this is about only the server, and the server need hard disk also, right? So you need to choose the disk. So disk again falls under another service, so which is storage device, which is storage one. If you just go for storage, they're giving this one now. Okay, compute only, we'll see. Not getting it. Where they have kept it. You can find out on the front page only. No. Storage, database, DynamoDB, Lambda. Mm, I don't think so. Storage only it is supposed to come up. AWS EBS will call it as uh, free tier. So Amazon EBS pricing. So here, Amazon free tier includes 30 GB of storage with 2 million IO and 1 GB of snapshot storage. So this is what Amazon. So now your instance is going to have certain disk, and the disk is basically is EBS. We call it. It's another service which is again there. So here, it's another service. Let's say on the left side you have EBS and the EC2. So on the volumes you will find out the list of volumes. So those volumes attached to the server to consume them, and that is a separate charge again. So that is a problem. Okay, so let's go and launch it, and T2 micro. So this is only for the T2 micro. So that free account is only for this. And again, EBS. If you are crossing 30 GB, you'll be charged. Otherwise, you'll not be charged. So this is how you can operate. This is how you can operate. Now let's say if you want to run the single system for 31 days or 30 days, it is free. Or you can run 2 instances for 15 days only. Or you can run 14 instances, just probably some around 7 days continuously, not an issue. But what we are going to do is we're going to we're going to use the instances whenever we need it. Otherwise will not run them. We'll just delete them or stop them. So Amazon will charge you only the, so let's say you keep 100 instances, and if you're not running them, you will not get charged. But the 100 instances is using, let's say, 10 GB each, so that becomes 100 GB in the back end, or 10 GB each, so which becomes 1 terabyte in the back end, and you will get 1 terabyte EBS volume usage, and you'll get that particular bill. That's the slight difference is there. Okay, so that's how Amazon operates. If you're stopping the server, you'll not get charged, but if your volume of the server is crossing more than 30 GB, then you start getting billing for whatever the amount it has crossed. Okay, so keep that in mind safely. So always try to delete anything if you are really not using. So that's the reason you always stick with one region. Don't go for cross region setup. Don't not go for it. I see most of the people go, okay, go ahead and create some resources and forget about them, and they'll start be using another region, and end of the day, surprise billing. And your billing also will not be going much. On the right side, so top, you have your account, and you'll be having your billing dashboard. So every day while when you log in, it's a minimum responsibility of you to go to the billing and watch the billing minimum. Okay, so I am almost getting so close to $18 bill. It's already been charged in my account. I might get more, and you can see that. So which service is being getting more charge? So there is something called as EC2, which is causing more. Okay, but why EC2 is causing $12 for me? So that also is a worry for me, and I can get understanding. On the left side you have bills. Okay, go to the bills, and you'll see a clear information. So here it is a uh, uh, here it is $12 bill. So just click on $12 bill, and you can see which region you're getting more. So it is Ohio region. So go to Ohio region. So here is a EBS volume which is getting charged for this, and load balancer. So there is a load balancer got created, and I forgot to delete it, and it is got the reason which is the one. So let me go for which region? Ohio region. Okay, I missed it actually. So I was demonstrating something in the previous batch. I forgot to delete it. Let's go to Ohio region, and it start billing. Okay, so that's okay. For me, it is okay because I run multiple batches on this particular account. So paying, so around whatever the amount comes up, that's okay. But even this one is additional because it is unnecessary. So this is supposed to be deleted. So there is a load balancer service. It is unnecessary there. Okay. So this is also unnecessary. And come to the volumes. This is also this is also unnecessary. So there are instances which are there, and all these instances are unnecessary for me. Okay, all these are getting charged in my account. Okay, so now from now on I'll be freed. Okay, so going the cross configuration, always this problem happens. Okay, because I choose one region for one batch, so that batch is this is the previous batch which was just completed. I was using Ohio region. All those hours were relying there only. I forget to clean it up. I'm just getting the bill. Unnecessary I got, so $4 to $5 just for that. So think about, even I'm running, so two batches in parallel. So, so this batch actually I used some extra resources which caused this much, but otherwise I'll not get this much bill also. I'll just go for April 2019. I paid only $10, and even if you go for a little bit before March, I paid only $20, and go for February, I paid only $23. Okay, around $20 I'm paying in decent amount. So that means $10 per batch probably. Okay, not more than that. Even for you also, if you continuously use for 2 months, you will not be charged other than $10. And you have to follow my best practices, by the way. I'll be talking about those best practices all the time, so you have to follow it. Okay, so let's get it started. So let's create a server, and we'll be able to we should be using that server to connect. Okay, so here on the left side you have AMIs, you have public images, owner, and you give that. Already given that, I have got it. So just click on launch. Okay, so here you have T2 micro. Just click on configure instance details. You don't need to change anything over here at this point of time, and add storage. You don't need to change anything at this point of time here. Add tags, nothing changes. Security group, nothing changes. Okay, so just launch it. And so here, usually, let me come back again. Your account, I have a key pair, let me delete it. Forget about it. Let's create an instance once again. So just right click, launch. Don't do anything. Next, launch. That's all. So it is telling there is no key pair found. Okay, so choose an existing key pair or proceed without key pair. So go for proceed without key pair. So there is no issue with our key pair, without a key pair, with our image. So we'll be using a password authentication. So I acknowledge. So just click on one. So proceed without a key pair. So you can just choose that option. I'm using an image which is a custom image, so which doesn't require a key pair. But I'll talk about the key pair later point of time. So using key pair, how can you connect and how can you use it? But for beginners to start the course, we always seen it's a little bit confusion using the key pair. So that's where I'm coming up with using the password rather than using the key pair. Okay, but the key pair is a very standard one, by the way. So you better use key pair. My image, the same image, will support key pair as well as password. Okay, so we'll talk about the key pair going forward, but at this point of time, let's stick with. See, in order to connect to your server, you require username and password, and you have username and password, you can connect. That's all, simple. Okay, no confusions. Now the server came into running. The server is available to run, but I need to connect to this particular server. So how can I connect to this server? So you need a utilities in your desktop to connect to the server. And one of the famous utility which most of the people uses is a putty, a tool called as putty. In Windows operating system, you need a utility, but for your Mac or Linux, whoever is using Mac or Linux, you really don't require any utility. Okay, so you'll be having an inbuilt terminal. So what all you need to do is So you can just give so this is the public IP address. So in order to connect to the server, so we always use public IP address. And from our inbuilt terminal, so what I'm going to do is, it's simple. So I'll be just going and using SSH. I want to log in with a root user and at the rate this one. That's all. Root, SSH root at the rate this one. It asks for the password. So in my terminal, it will not ask because I have some automation set up. That's okay. It will ask for the password, and the password is going to be DevOps 123, DevOps 123 or DevOps 321. I don't know. So let's see. Okay. So we have, and we can use one utility to connect to that. Okay. So how do I do that? So let's go into the Windows operating system. So I have a remote machine. Yeah. So all you need to download is you need to download a utility called as putty. Okay, so just go for putty and download. So you can use any tool of your choice. I'm not at all really stopping you. You can use any tool of your choice. Okay, I'm just going for downloading putty latest release, and here you'll find out whether your Windows operating system is a 32-bit or 64-bit. So based on that, you can choose. Um, you can choose a installer here. Okay, if it is 32-bit, download this. If it is 64-bit, download this. Mine is 64-bit. I'm going to download it. So it's just going to download in my machine. I'm done. Okay, and I'm just going to click on next. So there is already my putty installed in this machine. So that's where I'm not getting this. That's okay. And let's go for downloads. Yeah, there is a putty installer. So just click on next, next, next. You don't have to do anything at all. So finish. You have putty installed, done. And you can just go and use that particular utility, putty, and you have putty. So start button, putty, putty. All right. So now I have a public IP with me. So let's take the public IP, copy, and just go here and paste the public IP. Paste the public IP. So just click on open and ask for yes, yes, and it asks for username. Let me increase the font so that it will be easy for you to look. So appearance change. I'll go for some 16. Just click on OK, apply. So yeah, now here you just need to give, all you need to give is root, and it asks for password, and the password is DevOps 123. Not DevOps 123, DevOps 321. Yeah, what is the username and password? Let me update it here. Let me update in the documentation. I'm going to add all these particular steps to the documentation after the session, so probably a couple of hours. You can see this. I added the username and password. So root and DevOps 321, capital D, capital O, capital D, capital O. So yeah, I'm inside the server, and so from here I can I'm inside the server, and I can proceed start doing the things. Any questions? I think a long time I took. So any questions on this so far?
Yeah, how'd you get to this page?
I already pinged a URL in the chat, so let me ping it again. So this page is having that documentation. I pinged on the chat.
Okay. AMS, AMIs.
So yeah, the same document is actually available there in the URL. Yeah, so any other questions?
No.
Any other questions from anyone else before proceeding?
So you are going to share the documentation and the recording today, right?
Yeah, the documentation is already pinged in the chat. You can copy it from the chat.
Okay.
After that, we'll share that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. So let's move on. And so we have our Linux operating system here, and we can start doing the things. Okay. So starts with Linux. Okay, Linux basic commands. So here we have a very basic, basic Linux commands in. We have very basic Linux commands available. So we'll start with those things. But few things you need to understand here. So which is Linux is a command line interface. Linux is more about Linux command line interface. So here is in the same documentation. So there is a Linux commands.pdf. Okay, so I'll be just following this particular document. It's a simple PPT just uploaded here, and I'll be just following this. Okay, so let's start with one by one. Linux is all about command line or command line syntaxes. Anything you want to do in Linux, see anything you want to do in Windows, first of all. So what you might be doing click, 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 going there and doing something, everything with a click, right? But in Linux, anything you want to do,
it's 7 o'clock.
It's completely being done with command line options. So our commands, everything is a command. Okay. In Windows also you have in Windows also you have some commands in MS-DOS, which you might not use it all the time, right? But in Linux, everything is a command, and everything you want to do, it's a command. Okay, commands is what you need to use. Okay, and every command looks like this way. You'll be having a command name followed with some options, followed with some inputs. Depends. Okay, every command may have options or may not have options, may have inputs, may not have inputs, but this is general. Okay, every command looks like this, and your options looks like hyphen, a single character you'll find out, or hyphen single word you'll find out. Okay, your options are hyphen single character and hyphen single word is what you'll be having in general in the options. Okay, so in today's world, actually you'll be getting hyphen single word also. You are getting in the latest generation or latest commands which have been coming up in nowadays. So people are developing in hyphen single character also. Okay, the commands which are specific to Java based or Go programming. Okay, so based on Go programming or so this one, those guys are giving hyphen and a single word also. It's up. Okay, it's all depends upon the command. Okay, and it all depends upon the command how to use it, and how to use it. You don't know. See, I have almost like close to 10 years of experience, or total 11 years with experience with Linux. Okay, and I don't really remember not more than 50 commands. probably, yeah, not more than that. If you ask me, I can start making a list, but definitely the list may never cross 50. I can say that. Okay, but if I don't know anything, so how can I start doing the thing? So I need to have some help, or each and every command is having, so let's say 10 options so 10 options on an average. It might be more as well, but let's say if I have 10 options on an average each command, so then 50 into 10, 500 options. I don't really remember, sorry, I cannot do that. I cannot really remember. So and I use them once in a while. If it is a regular option, I might remember it. But if it is a very irregular option, comes very once in a while, so then it's not preferred. I don't know. I'm not that guy. So, but you should be in a position to get that information. You should be in a position to get that information from somewhere, and that's where Linux commands is really going to help you, and starts with a very basic option hyphen help. You take any command and you don't know the options which you can use it, okay, which would just use hyphen help to get those options. Okay, so just let's say you logged into the machine, so you logged into the if you log into the Unix operating system also, you see a same kind of prompt. You log into Unix operating system is also, you're going to use the same kind of prompt. But are you really a Windows guy, or are you a real Linux guy, or you're a Unix guy or something? You can ask the system, hey, are you Unix, are you Linux, are you Windows? You can ask it. And how can you ask it is just by using a very basic command, uname. Uname is a command which can show you which OS you are using, okay, which kernel you are using, especially Linux. Now let's go to my Mac, and if I just type uname, let me exit, come out. So I'm back in my Unix operating system. If I just give uname, it is showing me Darwin. It's showing me Darwin. Or in my Windows operating system also, I have a terminal installed, and I can just go here and type uname. So it is giving me NT10.0. But if you see Linux, then you are in Linux operating system. First thing first, whenever you go into a very unknown operating system, what I usually do is I check first of all whether it is Linux or some other. Okay, I checked it just by using uname command. And as I mentioned, so going forward, Windows 10 is coming up with Windows 10 want to come up with Linux kernel. So after they ship it, and if you go there and Windows also, you type Windows, and now you see NT kernel. Now later you'll see Linux kernel. Whoever is using Linux, you will see the kernel, which is Linux, irrespective of whether Red Hat using it, or Ubuntu using it, Debian, or SUSE using it, doesn't matter. You will see Linux. Whoever is built on Linux, you will see Linux. And that is what the Linux operating system means. Okay. So yeah, so ours is Linux, but vendor could be different. So our vendor is, I'm not sure. I am into the system. I'm not sure anything I'm not sure anything about whether this is Red Hat operating system, or CentOS, or Ubuntu, or SUSE, or could be something else. I really don't know. Okay, I need to find it out. We can find out by using different commands, so that's okay. But the basic one which you have is Linux, and that information you're going to get it by using uname. So uname is an option. Uname is not an option. Uname is a command which is going to show you which operating system you are using. Yeah. So the next one, and to any command you take, I just shown you one command, uname. In Windows, probably if you want to know what is the Windows version, so what you will be doing is so you just go to the my PC and right click, and you might do something my PC. No, let's go to File Explorer. So there you'll find out my PC. Right click, just go for properties, and you will see this is Windows 2019 Data Center OS. Okay. All right. So that's how you find out the OS information. So that's okay. So kernel information you can find out just by using uname command the same way. However, your Linux is coming. You can install command line tools. I installed git bash, and with that tool, you see that as nt1.0. So that's okay. Okay. So now uname is what the equivalent command over here, which works and shows you the OS information. Now, any command you take and the syntax, if you don't know all the options, so uname might be 100 options. I don't really remember them, but how can I identify those particular options, or how can I get those particular options? So coming back to the screen, and it is uname -- help. So if I just give uname -- help, so it's a general, it's a general option. It's a very general option to most of the commands. If you just give -- help, and you're going to get all the options. All right, so you can see hyphen single character or hyphen a single word, hyphen single character or hyphen single word, hyphen single character or hyphen single word. Okay, so this is how your options will be looking like. This is how your options be looking like. Okay, and you are going to use certain options. So now let's say I want to know whether my hardware is 32-bit or 64-bit. In Windows, how do you do that? You see the same my PC properties. You will see somewhere this is 64-bit. So 64-bit operating system. Operating system is fine, but it is a 64-bit processor. Processor information is 64-bit. Okay, if I want to have the same information, how do you get the processor information? So this is a -p, and it is uname -p. If you use that -p option, it is going to show you x86_64. If it shows x86 underscore, so x86_64, then it is 64-bit. So Linux commands and the system information to check whether the machine is a 32-bit or 64-bit. Then you can use uname -i hardware, or you can use uname -p processor. If it shows 32-bit, like i386, i586, i686, then it is 32-bit. Then it is 32-bit. And whereas if it shows x86_64, so that is 64-bit. So checking the processor is not the right approach, because your processor can be 32-bit. Processor is always 64-bit, by the way. Okay, processors are always 64-bit, and your hardware, whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit, will be decided by your motherboard. Okay, so that information you get it by using -i hardware platform. So hardware platform shows which architecture you are using, 32-bit or 64-bit. So uname -i. So processors can be 64-bit, and your your motherboard is 32-bit. Then you'll end of the day you'll see only 32-bit performance, because it's 32-bit. Hardware is what, so motherboard is what decides that one. So okay, so that is how you have it. Okay, so -i is the right option, but processor information you want, you can go for -p only. But I want the general information, so that is uname -i is what I prefer to use. Yeah. The next thing, so here I just mentioned some points. Unlike Windows, Linux commands are case sensitive. Okay, in Windows, I can just go and give capital uname, I get the output. But whereas in Windows, if I go, if I go to the Linux, if I just give capital uname, you'll get command not found. So that's a point there, and it's important. So unlike Windows, Linux commands are case sensitive. So here, those are case sensitive. So caps and small is very particular. And you can get the help of any command just by using man pages. We can just use a -- help at this point of time, and also you can get more information just by using man command. So man space manual pages of any command. So let's say uname is our command. So man space uname, you are getting all the options explained. And if you want to come out of this man page, at the down it is giving already H for help and Q to quit. So if I just press Q, I will come out of this man page. Okay, so man and the particular one and this one. Okay, so this is how you can get the, see, you are new to the operating system, and probably we might require 25 to 30 commands in regular. Okay, so I hope over a period of time you'll definitely remember them. With the practice, you will definitely remember them. And you can just get those options completely on the fly. You don't need to remember all those options, but general options is okay. Okay, so but fewer options, you can always give hyphen help and get it. Okay, so this is how we're going to have our Linux commands. Okay, so would like to stop here. I don't want to put much of the things in the first day. Okay, so I'll start, so coming back to here in tomorrow's session. All right. So first thing first, after the session, after your practice, I'm done with my practice. So then what I have to do, I have to go to the here and right click. You can just go to the instance and stop the instance so that you will not be charged. So this is a free tier, you'll not be charged, that's okay. But so why do you even exhaust those particular free time as well? Okay, so just stop it and you're fine. And tomorrow while you start it, I'm going to start it back and I'll start it and I'll use it. Okay, so whenever I need, I'll start it. After that, I'll stop them. Okay, as a standard practice. So this is what even for your practice you're supposed to do it. But anyhow, so there is certain there are certain automation in place which is going to help you if system is not being used for 60 minutes, technically 59 minutes, it is going to stop the server automatically. Okay, so we have some automations in place, but still keep in mind you always stop the servers whenever you don't really need them. Yeah, so I would like to stop here. And any questions? So for tomorrow's session, everyone should be in a position to create your AWS account. After creating AWS account, you need to create a server. And how do you create a server? I just shown you the process. You have the video anyhow. You'll get the video and you see the process. That is one thing. And the second thing is, I'll share the documentation as well. And the documentation is already kept in the chat, and we'll share over the emails as well. So you'll get those. And using those, you need to set up your account, create a server, install the utility putty, and connect to the server. So gain the confidence that you are able to connect to the servers. And from tomorrow onwards, we're going to execute some commands, and we will start practice of Linux commands. Okay, yeah. Any questions?
Just how do we know not the kernel but the OS?
You want to move what?
I want to know the OS, operating system.
Tomorrow. So the commands are following. So here to check the vendor of the operating system, you have the command here. So I'll explain. I don't want to put everything on one day, first day. So that's the reason. Just take a break. Yeah. So any other questions?
Yeah. We have connected with no keys, right? Can we generate a key pair and connect to it?
Later. So if you are really curious about knowing your keys and connection, so you can do that as well. But I have seen over a period of time practice that people are confusing, using the keys and then missing of the keys. The problem is confusing is they mess up the keys. That's the problem. So here there is one more file which is called as world readme.md file, and you can just click on that. So that is having the process of generating the keys. Okay, so and how do you connect with keys and how do you upload your keys, and every process is already in place. So for this batch only, I'm actually not trying to put it in another way, and keys I'll try to explain it in a later point of time.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, please, I'm trying to check the billing, but I'm having permission issue.
Which one? Sorry.
I'm trying to check my billing, but I'm having permission issue.
You're checking what? I didn't get that.
Billing, the same thing you did.
Okay, CentOS image you're saying.
My AWS billing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but what the word you're trying to billing? Okay, so you're saying about billing.
Yeah, I was trying to check billing, but I'm having IAM permission issue.
So that means you're not using your own account. Probably you're using someone's account.
No, I'm using my own account. The account I
Then you're
created.
not using, then you're not using the root credentials. You might created a separate user and you logged in with that particular user and then you get that issue. So try to log in with
So
the sign up credentials, then you'll get it, or else give the permissions to that particular user and you should be able to.
I've been trying to do that, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. So any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, all right. So if no questions, we can stop here and we'll meet in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow we'll going to start the Linux commands. And before tomorrow, as I already mentioned, so get familiar with connecting to the Linux so that there won't be any issues in the follow-up, okay, following the class. Okay, thank you and see you in tomorrow's session. Bye.